Everyone around the world makes stuffed peppers, but the global issue that we have is what do we do with that little bit of meat that's left at the end? You know what I'm talking about. That bit is not enough to fill a whole pepper, but then you can't put it on one of the ones already. So what do? So I've picked a Hungarian recipe because they were clever. They worked this out. They were like, why don't we make meatballs out of them? Smart, right? So I'm going to show you how to make Hungarian peppers. And with the last little bits, you can make meatballs with them. So smart. So to begin with, for these stuffed peppers, we're gonna start with our rice. So half a cup of rice, 1 cup of water. Simple, goes in. Next, we're gonna saute our vegetables. So I've got an onion, carrot, tomato and some garlic. And to make things just a tiny bit easier, instead of chopping onions, which I don't necessarily love because they make me very emotional, I'm gonna use this handy piece of equipment. It saves lives. So when you're using the blitzer or the food processor, whatever you want to call it, you want to make sure you don't make the onions mush, because too much moisture, it just gets really weird, but you still want them to have a bit of bite to them. So just pulse it. So once you get some nice finely chopped onions, we're going to saute these. So obviously some olive oil, about a tablespoon, and you want your pan to be a bit hot when you put them in. And then the next vegetable we have our carrot. I'm just going to chop the ends off. I'm not going to bother peeling it because, you know, very healthy. All the nutrients are in the peel, so. And I just want to be lazy, okay? Don't judge me. And the same goes, you don't want it to be completely mushy, so just a few pulses. Great, and you've got tiny pieces of carrot. I want to get some sizzling going in here before I add the carrot, so I'm just going to put it in a little bowl. Leave these aside. And then our last vegetable, well, nearly last. So I'm going to add a bit more oil to this and go in with the carrots. Oh, the smell of the caramelized onions. Whilst that's doing its thing, we blitz our tomatoes. Now, to add some extra flavor, I'm going to put in some garlic. Now, if a recipe says 2 cloves of garlic, I like to put 3 or 4. I really like my garlic. So I'm going to add 3 cloves of garlic, but obviously you can put however much you like. But garlic does make everything better. Make sure to have an eye out for your veg here. You don't want them to burn. I'm not doing this so fine because I don't really mind chunks of garlic, but obviously, as you wish. It's always important to try and make a recipe kind of your own, even if it's just the little tweaks to how you like it. And now to add some mush to it, we're going to add in our tomatoes. Now, a little thing that I always like to do when I'm sauteing my vegetables is add a little bit of sugar. And in this instance, because we do have tomatoes, a bit of sweetness does counteract the acidity. So just a touch, don't go crazy with it. Subtle, very subtle, but very necessary. So now we have all of our components in front of us. So we're going to begin assembling things. So first we'll start with our minced beef. So we'll put this here and we're going to season it. So obviously we start off with the basic, some salt. Going to add in some paprika and some cumin. Oh, this smells right now amazing. And to finish it off, some pepper, a bit less of that because you don't want to be coughing. You can add some chili to it. I'll take one. Oh my god, so many seeds. I can feel the judgment from people thinking, oh, she can't take spice. And in here, we're also going to add an egg. The egg is going to help bind everything together and hold it in place. Let's give this like a little mix. If you don't mind getting dirty, use your hands. It's just so much easier. If you're not too fond of handling meat, then this probably isn't the best method for you. Now that's perfectly combined. So now that can start to soak up all of the nice ground flavors. So put that aside. And now to add some freshness to this, we're gonna add some parsley. Quite a big bunch to it. You can use dried, but of course, nothing better than the real deal, and it just smells so good. So, parsley, chop this up finely. And we add that to our beef. So then we get our sauteed vegetables, put those in. And we add our rice. And before we start getting even more messy, I'm gonna prepare my peppers. So, got some nice green peppers here, and they're pointy and perfect, in my opinion, for stuffed peppers. So we just cut the ends off. You wanna cut off as little as possible, no wastage. And we just pull out the core, just like so. And now, use your favorite utensil, and everything gets combined together. You've got some beautiful colors going on. The greens, the white, the red, and everything smells amazing. So you mix just till everything is combined together. So, get your pepper, and you're just gonna fill it, simple as. I use my hands, but obviously you can use utensils. You know, it's the best bit about cooking, getting messy. And you just fill them. Now, I don't like pressing them too hard because then I feel like it becomes really stiff, but then you want to press them a bit so they stay together, so just a bit of balance. And that's all of our peppers stuffed. Now, a lot of countries make stuffed peppers, even where I'm from in Kosovo we make them. But what I found really impressive about this Hungarian recipe is that at the end, the meat that's left over is made into little meatballs that are just dotted around the stuffed peppers. And that I think is great, just a little thing on the side. So, we're just gonna make meatballs out of the rest of the meat. And we're just gonna dot them around. I kinda think that my baking tray is a bit too small for this, but we'll see how it goes. How cute do they look? Come on, admit it. They look so cute, so adorable, so nicely tucked. And they're gonna taste great, you know? You can prep this ahead, I guess, and put it in the fridge, and then when it's time, you can just put them in the oven. But when you put them in the oven, you're gonna put them at a really high temperature of 250 degrees Celsius. Put them in for 20 minutes. Then after 20 minutes, turn it down, and it will take roughly 10 minutes, but it might need a bit more depending on your oven. But yeah, we don't want to burn them, but we want that nice brown look. So off these go. It smells amazing in here, and these look amazing. You've got the browning on the top, caramelization. I don't know what other adjectives to use, but they look so good. And you saw, it was so easy to do for yourself as well. So that's Hungary, checked off the list. They look so good. Now, what about now? Let me share it on my Instagram.